Hey guys, I am back. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight into this video regarding the second part of the manager and his testimony. Now, I just want to start by clearing something up for the fuck niggas that's clearly didn't get past the fifth grade. So, in my last video, what I was clearly pointing out to you was simply this. I'll show you right now. The front of the Monaco Lounge, there is no sign on the door that says you are not allowed to carry a weapon into the building, right? The laws in the state of Georgia state that you are allowed to carry a weapon inside of a bar or a nightclub unless there is a sign posted on said building. So if there's no sign on the fucking door and the laws state that you can have a weapon, it's up to you who you believe. Let me tell you something. Since I've been on this earth, look, I'm looking right now. I have never been able to find my give a fuck. So if you think I personally give a fuck about what you think, you got the wrong motherfucker. That's not what I'm here for. I am strictly here for Davon Daquan Bennett and Grandbaby. That's what I told you in the last video that I was doing this for. So if that's not you and this is not for you, then move right along, please. Because at the end of the day, anybody that's been rocking with me on this channel from day one, and if you don't know, then I'm about to let you know. The golden rule over here is never trust anybody's information but your own, not even mine. All I'm simply doing is showing you where I've actually took the time to do some research. I'm not just getting on here talking out of my ass to show you where I found inconsistencies. And if nothing else, the only thing that I want you to take away from this channel, and it's not just with the King Von situation, it's with anything in life. If you get a gut feeling when somebody tells you something that is not right, you have every right to question that situation. Don't ever let nobody tell you you got to just take something as law and you don't have the right to question something. So that's the main important thing of this whole reason that I'm doing this. And again, I have found several inconsistencies and I'm going to speak up on it. So, moving right along with the rest of the bullshit that I've found out. And we're going to let you hear it straight out of the horse's mouth.
One step ahead of us because we jumped out the car regularly, leaped out the car and walked straight. That's why you can see from the camera, everybody's trailing him from the back, and I came from the side. By the time I got to the side and they're doing what they're doing, the shooter already came to the same side he was in and shot him and shot myself. And from there, Vaughn was already on the ground. There was
Because my other problem with the manager is simply this. As a manager, when have you ever seen two artists that have a problem with each other? They're just coincidentally in the same place. Most of the time, they're not even in the same cities, let alone at the same venues. Now, I get that you said Vaughn made a split decision to go to this place, but isn't it your job as a manager to know that if your artist has a problem with someone, that you know where these other people are at all times, whether y'all are going to be in the same city, whether y'all got shows close to the same venues, or what have you. This man and his crew was in the same city filming videos all day long. So clearly you knew, or you should have known, that to me would be in your job description to know what is going on, especially if you have your artist's best interest at heart. But again, let's go ahead and get into the the shit that you said. So you stated that you were standing right next to Vaughn when he got shot, but I'm having a hard time understanding how that is possible because when you look right here at this picture that I'm about to show you, when Vaughn is getting, this is happening, you are nowhere around. And I see why you got the name track because your ass ran faster than any track started I've ever seen. You jetted your ass straight over to the front door. And then my next thing is, once you were standing in the door and you stood there for quite some time, you never picked up your phone to call 911. If you said it was a hail of bullets out there, which I don't see how you were able to see that from standing inside of the club, but nevertheless, we'll go ahead and take that for right now. for what it is. If there's a hell of bullets going on and there was nothing that you could do and your artist is sitting out there laying in the middle of the street, why didn't you pick up your phone to even dial 911 to get him any type of help or any assistance? You sat there and you stood at the door. But then when you did run back outside, you ran over to Vaughn and then you ran on the other side of that truck. Why? What were you doing over there? If these people were such a threat and there was so many bullets coming from over there, like what did you run on that side of the truck for? And then you ran back to Vaughn. Now we see you getting inside of the car when they take Vaughn away. So my next question for you is, if you didn't go to the hospital with Vaughn, so you're telling me that when you guys pulled off, y'all didn't take Vaughn directly to the hospital, you went somewhere else so that you were able to get into a different vehicle and you split up? Like, how did that work? Because we see you getting into the car and pulling off. So those were precious moments that, could have possibly saved his life. So what happened? So my thing is this: if you would like to, come and answer any of these questions, I mean, you already gave your public testimony. I would love to ask you a few questions because I got a lot of things that I need you to clear up, because you got on social media and you made this big bold statement. You basically told us that Vaughn was out of his mind that night. He wasn't himself, and you guys showed this footage in a way to show him as being an aggressor, but we know that that's not the case. So I have a lot more questions for you than I do answers. Now, I also want to point out to you guys that in this article that I'm going to show you, it's also two other people that have been arrested. One, Johnny Harris, and another, Kevin Jones. Now, Mr. Johnny was arrested for possession of a firearm, and Kevin Jones was arrested for some probation violation. I'm not sure what his exact charge was because I've been having a hard time finding him, but I'm going to do a little bit more research and see if I could, see what's going on with him. But nobody else mentioned these other two people, and we don't see them on video. So where did they come from, and how were the police able to determine that they had any firearms if we don't see them shooting? So does that lead us to believe that you guys are just showing us a piece of the footage? See, I want to see the whole tape. We need to see it from the time that Vaughn pulled up to all the rest of the bullshit that y'all showed us. So I also am pointing out to you guys in this same article that they released the name of the young lady that was shot as well. Now, for her safety reasons and things like that, I'm not going to post her picture. I do know who she is. I have reached out to her, and when she's comfortable with, recounting her side of events and what happened that night, then, she's going to do so. I also am aware that there is an open investigation right now. So even if I was to speak to her and she was to, explain her side of events and what happened that night from her perspective, I'm not sure that I would even put that out right now, just because of there is still an open investigation. But again, I am in a process of getting a police report and the medical examiner reports, which is public information, might I add. So again, you don't have to take my word for any of this. Do your own research if you really want to know what happened to King Von. All I'm doing is showing you the inconsistencies that I see and where I'm going with this and how I'm thinking. Because I'm not the type of person that's just going to let somebody tell me something if I see otherwise. Now, next up is self-defense, which a lot of y'all didn't even completely read the whole law, which some of you did. Most of you, the real ones, did, and y'all know that that's definitely not gonna fly. So we definitely gonna get into all that. But Quando Rondo, sir, let me explain something to you. Don't think that for 1 minute, because you and I both know that this was not no accident. The same way that they gave Von up, don't think that they haven't already given you up, sir. So spend less time on the internet taunting the situation, because what's done is done. What you need to worry about is what's next. Y'all stay tuned. I got some more news for your ass.